Hey adventurers, so today is going to be a book haul. This is kind of, I was hoping for a fun title, something about Kickstarter book haul or something like that, because I backed a lot of Kickstarters in this, fairly recently, and I was hoping that they'd have all come through by now, but as is the way with things, they haven't, and they're still backlogged, so maybe if things come before this video goes up, I'll have more to insert or something, but probably not. Anyways, the last book haul that I did was like 2 months ago, and that was from like 8 months of time that I hadn't done any book hauls because I hadn't hauled very many books. And then my birthday month came around, and so I bought books. So this is part of that for sure. The first ones that I'm going to talk about, though, are actually ones that my parents were getting rid of, and so I said I will take those. And most of them are storybooks. There's a couple that aren't, at least one that isn't, but anyways, that's fine. We'll talk about those as we get to them. So really quickly going through here, we've got Shaman by N.C. McDonald. I have no idea what this is about, but it's about Klawock, Alaska, 1794. Tlingit territory opens to the white man, so I have no idea what that means. I have no idea anything about this story, but I'm very interested in it. Then I have From Sea to Shining Sea by James Alexander Thom. I have, again, no idea what this book is about, but they were getting rid of it, so I grabbed it. Tom Clancy Patriot Games. I do know a little bit about Tom Clancy. He's a thriller writer, usually military, deals a lot with military stuff, and so it's kind of what I suspect this one will be. And it's got Harrison Ford's face on the front of it, so I assume this has had an adaptation. In the Heart of the Sea by Nathaniel Philbrick, the tragedy of the whale ship Essex. So this is like the true story that the Moby Dick was based upon. And so I've watched the movie and I like the movie, but I also want to read the actual book that it's based on. So I want to, okay, this book, Moby Dick is not based on this book. This book is based on the true story that Moby Dick was a fictional tale of, or like not even a, Moby Dick was based on it in the sense that it was, inspiration was taken into the telling of that story. I think that's what I'm trying to say. And then I also pulled this one, A Potted History of Fruit, A Kitchen Cornucopia by Mike Darton. I have, again, this is no reason for this. This isn't really a storybook. It's just got like pictures and some words about fruit and plants and stuff like that. And this is the sort of thing that I like to have on my shelf or like to have available for people to look at. I have you can't see them in the background, but I have like the birds of North America and stuff like that. And this fits right along in with that sort of thing, so I like having it. Then I went to the used bookstore one day just randomly and found some really cool things that I thought were, wow, these are super interesting. I want to get these and I want to own them. One of them I recognized the title of because it had been turned into a movie with Chris Pratt and Millie Bobby Brown couple, last year I think it was, and that's The Electric State by Simon Stalenhag. Possibly. I don't know how to pronounce that name for sure. But I saw this and I was like, I want to read that. I've wanted to read that since I heard about them. I was not aware that there were two other ones in this by the same author that are kind of the same style, kind of the same series. But those were also there. So I also have Things from the Flood and Tales from the Loop. Tales from the Loop I know was also adapted into a series, I believe it was, and I haven't watched that. I haven't watched Electric State either, but I want to. I saw these and I'm like, okay, I have wanted to see these, wanted to read through these since I heard about them, and so they're fascinating. So I definitely am very glad that I found all three of these. On that same trip, I also found a couple other things that I thought were really cool. Peter Pan and Kensington Gardens by J.M. Barrie. So this is like one of the older versions of the Peter Pan story before it's the one that everybody commonly knows, and so because it was an illustrated edition and something that I don't think I'll ever find again type thing unless I'm specifically looking for it and searching the internet or whatever for it. I probably am not likely to find something like this again, but I wanted to get it because this is super cool. I also found Zane Grey, Tale of the Dwaynes. I like Zane Grey of the two books out of his that I've read, and I plan to read many, many more. I also found The Riven Codex by David and Lee Eddings. This is Ancient Texts of the Belgariad and the Melorian. And so this has something to do with the Belgariad series, and so I picked it up. Then came my birthday, and so I only got 2 books for my birthday, but I got money that I spent on books as well, and so I'll talk about those in a second here. But the ones that I got for my birthday were King Arthur, Medieval British Literature and Modern Critical Tradition by Andrew Breeze. I don't know much about this other than that it's King Arthur, and it sounded interesting when I found it the one day I was looking through, I don't know, it came up on my Amazon at some point, so I put it on my wish list. The other one that I got, though, I don't remember who I heard about this from, maybe Liam, but that's An Exaltation of Larks by James Lipton. And this is just, oh, well, let's see. These are group terms, real and fanciful, from the 15th and to the 21st centuries. So these are things like a murder of crows or a parliament of owls, things like that, that they're the noun for a group of animals or a group of nouns. And so, I mean, you just go through here and there's a whole host of them, and they're just, sometimes they give a little bit of, what can I say? A little bit of, my brain is not, context, a little bit of words describing why they chose these terms or whatever, but a lot of times not. And so I was just kind of glancing through. It's not something that I'm just going to sit down and read from cover to cover, but it's one of those things that's funny and that it's fun to have and that I like. And so I decided to, I got it for my birthday, but I also thought it was super fun, so I wanted that. The one that I found that is my favorite so far, if I can find it again real quick. All right, my favorite here is An Abominable Sight of Monks. So I don't know why that just makes me laugh as much as it does, but it's a hilarious version of or a group term for this group of monks, and so I thought that was hilarious. But that's I found several things like that. A lot of really good, just funny but also very fitting things at times, and yeah, I like that. I like those terms. So anyways, I'll move on from that one now. I believe this one should have gone with the other books that I found at the used bookstore before my birthday, and so I'll mention that here now. But that's The Silver Chalice by Thomas B. Costain. I don't know a whole lot about this other than that it's the celebrated novel about the Holy Grail, and so it's a Holy Grail narrative, and I believe it's not specifically King Arthur. I think it's before King Arthur. I mean, I see things like, have you ever heard of one Joseph of Arimathea? He asked. Cephas had gone back to his work. He nodded without looking up. Yeah, I've heard of him, the great merchant of Jerusalem. So it's things like that where it seems to be characters, biblical characters who would have been involved and around Jesus at the time. And so, yeah, I don't know much about this, but I saw it in there and I was like, that's fascinating. I really want to try that out. And so I bought it. This is an illustrated edition too, so that's super cool. But yeah, I want to read this. I don't know a whole lot about it, but it's a cool find for me. And then while I was at the used bookstore that day, I saw these and was like, these are super cool. I really want these. But I didn't want to spend the money on them that day. And then my birthday came and I got a whole bunch of money for my birthday. And I was like, okay, this is what I want to go get. And so I went back to the used bookstore and found these super cool hardcover editions of Zane Grey books. And just super pretty, super nice editions. And so the ones that they are, Wild Horse Mesa, The Hash Knife Outfit, Arizona Ames, The Thundering Herd, Wildfire, and Riders of the Purple Sage. And so a whole bunch of, or 6 rather, Zane Grey novels that I'm very interested in reading, especially Riders of the Purple Sage. I've heard a ton about. I actually have, there was actually a couple other ones that were there the first time I saw them, and when I went back, they weren't there. And so I was kind of disappointed that I couldn't. I think there was 2 more that weren't there, maybe 3 more. And I wish they would have been there because I would have loved to have all of them. But anyways, that's super cool. Definitely the type of thing. I've showed off my works of collection, where it's just the works of various authors. Victor Hugo. That's the word. And various other. I think I have a Sir Arthur Conan Doyle. I think I have I can't remember who all I have. I've got a whole bunch of them though, and they're super cool things. And this is the sort of thing that is, and I'm very glad to have it. But also because I like Zane Grey, the 2 that I've read, I also mentioned the one that I already got there. So very excited for these. Very glad that I have them, and they're just very pretty books. So. And then we get to this, and then we get to the stack of ones that I bought for myself just because I wanted them or was invested in them for whatever reason. And some of them are Kickstarter backers. Most of them aren't. Most of them are just ones that I wanted to get for one reason or another, and we'll talk about that. So first off, I have the Honor Anthology. I've already talked about this. I've already done my review of this, stuff like that. One of these is mine. One of these is going to a friend at some point, and I just haven't decided which one for certain. I have a pretty good idea, and I haven't delivered that book yet, but this is super cool. I wanted this. I backed the Kickstarter so that I would have the opportunity to have the books, first of all, but then also that I could see them physically in person and choose at that point which one I actually wanted. there is still kind of a part of me that wants to keep them both, and I just need to say no to that and give the one away so that I don't have that temptation. But they're very pretty. I'm very impressed with these books and very glad that I have them. Then I have Aurelia by Stephen R. Lawhead. This is Pendragon Cycle, a prequel. This is kind of it's set set during the events of Merlin, the book Merlin, and kind of with the framing narrative, it takes place early in Merlin and later in Merlin at the same time and stuff like that. And so it is a prequel. It's designed to be read at the end of the series after you've read the 5 main books, and then you go back and read this one type thing. But I think if you've read Taliesin and Merlin, you could probably read this one fairly well and it wouldn't be a problem. If you haven't read any, you could probably read it as a standalone and it would probably also be okay. But you're gonna get the most out of it for sure if you've read at least Taliesin and Merlin. This is very good. I already talked about this and read this, but I wanted to own this because I wanted to own it. And I need the other books in the series as well, and I don't have them all. Then I have The Fate of Thieves by Tori Tekken. This is a Legend of the Bruhai 1.5. It's a prequel novella, but it's also 1.5 in that it's a prequel in that it takes place before the events of the Bloodstones, but it is intended to be read after you read the Bloodstones. And it's very good. Already read this, already reviewed it. It's fantastic. I have Galahad and the Grail by Malcolm Geit. This is a super cool, lyrical, poetic retelling of the Grail cycle. This is about Galahad and the Grail, and I'm very excited to read it. It's just beautiful, just absolutely gorgeous. It feels amazing. It's got cool illustrations, and just the poetry of it is absolutely beautiful. Even in his prelude to Take Up the Tale. As I walked out one morning, all in the soft fine rain, it seemed as though a silver veil was shining over hill and vale, as though some lovely long-lost spell had made it all new again. And through the shimmer in the air I seemed to hear a sound, as though a distant horn were blown in some lost land that I had known, that seemed to speak from tree and stone, and echo all around. And with the music came these words, Poet, take up the tale. Take up the tale this land still keeps. In earth and water magic sleeps, the dryad sighs, the naiad weeps, but you can lift the veil. From where the waves wash Cornwall's caves, out to the White Horse Vale, the lands still hold the tale of old, like hidden treasure, buried gold. Once more the story must be told. Poet, take up the tale. Tell of the king who will return, tell of the Holy Grail, tell of old knights and chivalry, tell of pristine mystery, of Merlin's Isle of Gramarye. Poet, take up the tale. Take up the tale of courtesy, take up the tale of grace, revive the land's long memory, summon the fair folk, let them be. Something of fairy, wild and free, still lingers in this place. Lift up your eyes to see the light in Glastonbury Tor, then come down from that far green hill, to where the sacred waters spill and shine within the chalice well, and listen to their lore. Yea, listen well before you start, be still ere you begin. See through the surface round about, the noise, the rush, the fear, the doubt. Though modern Britain lies without, fair Logres lives within. You may yet walk through Merlin's Isle, by oak and ash and thorn. The ancient hills do not forget, and you might wake their wisdom yet. Who knows what wonders might be met on this midsummer morn? So I have taken up the tale, to tell it full and free, the tale that makes my heart rejoice. I tell it, for I have no choice. I tell it, till another voice takes up the tale from me. And that's just the prelude to this book that's a retelling of Arthur's, or of the Arthurian saga. And it's the first book in the first volume of Merlin's Isle. And so he's going to do, I think, 3 volumes of this epic poem that he's writing. And it's just beautiful. And as you can see from that prelude, this is going to be fantastic. And so anyways, I'm very excited for this. And I haven't sat down and read through it yet, but it's very, very high priority for me. The last one I have is one that just came in fairly recently, and this is another Kickstarter that I backed, and the one that I'm very excited. This is the debut novel of this author, and so this is Shazwick of Land, Time Becomes Relevant, Volume 1 by Kai Esso. And just, if you've heard anything about this, it sounds fascinating. It sounds, it's written from in a different form than anything that I'm used to. And when I say form, I'm not talking like that it's constructed strangely. It's that the manner of telling the story is a Chinese style of storytelling, something that I'm not very familiar with. And so I'm very excited to read that and experience that and see what the author has in store for us through this book, because I think it's going to be a fascinating read, and it's going to be something that I can definitely learn from. And I love experiencing other cultures, learning about other cultures and stuff like that. So seeing how their storytelling works is going to be fascinating to me. So very excited for this. I haven't read it yet. I'm waiting for the audiobook, which I should be getting fairly soon, whenever that's finalized. But very excited for this and very glad to have it on my shelf. So that was my book haul. I need to find a adjective to go along with book haul so that I can title this video, but I'm very excited by all these books. They're just things that are like really cool to me, that are, every single one of these books is something that I'm excited to have, in the sense that it's not just, oh, I want to read that. It's something that I am, or you could say something a little bit less like that in regards to the Riven Codex, is that what it's called? The Eddings book. But even that, I've been reading his Belgariad series and loving it, and I've been collecting those books as well. And so it's absolutely something that I'm very excited to own. And so just everything here that I got this time are things that I'm just fascinated by, that I'm very pleased that I am now able to own. So anyways, there's not a whole lot there to this book haul, but it's something that I found fascinating. Book hauls aren't very deep to begin with. They're very consumerist to begin with. It's like, I understand there's not a whole lot of great value to book hauls, other than maybe showing a book to somebody that they didn't know about previously, and that might excite them or might interest them or something like that. But anyways, these things are ones that excite me a lot, and so I'm very excited to have them. And now I'm rambling and talking way longer than I need to, so I'm going to close out the video. But thank you guys for watching an Erudite Adventure. We post videos every Monday and Thursday, and have our social medias linked in the description down below. We will see you guys again soon. Stay warm.